What's going on, everybody? Benton Blakeman here for the Hand History Lounge. Welcome to Online Grind Volume 11. Today we will be playing 4 tables of 2-4 no limit, 9-handed tables. It is a $600 maximum buy-in, playing on Poker Bros, and we'll jump right into the action. This will be tables 1, 2, 3, and 4 for reference. Over on table 2, facing a short stack limp and then an isolation raise, we're going to fold the ace-4 suited. I'll come back to explaining why after. With the 9s we raised, and we're going to go ahead and bet since we flopped an overpair. I think it's a pretty safe board just to continue on versus the big blind. Betting about 2/3 pot. Oh, and a limper actually, so that's fine. Even better to bet 2/3 pot there multi-way. Probably should have called ace-3 of diamonds looking at this board. But no, the reason that we folded was a lot of times these under-the-gun short stack limps are just looking to limp shove. And we can't call a limp shove. We don't want to isolate 3-bet the isolator because the fact that he is looking to limp shove a whole lot. So when none of the call or re-raise options work too well, we just opt for fold. It's a little bit on the tight side, but I think it's still fine. Over on table 4, raising the 7s to 3 big blinds. Over on table 1, raising the 9s to 3 big blinds. Over on table 2, raising the jacks to 3 big blinds. And over on table 3, raising the jack 9 suited from the button to 3 big blinds. I would be opening jack 9 suited from these last 3 spots. With the 7s, 1 overcard and a button call, we're going to start with a lead for a small bet about 3rd pot. And with the set of jacks not blocking top pair, we're going to go for 2/3 pot bet or so. The 9s multi-way will be checking because we're 3-ways. With the 7s, we're going to go ahead and check on a jack pair, but we're probably not going to be folding to a bet. 2 flush draws now with the jacks, 1 caller who has position on us. We're just going to continue betting, and we're going to bet a pretty large size here. We're going to call the 7s. With the 9s, we're still looking to check. And the jacks, we're going to be looking for value here again, versus most likely a queen. 2 missed flush draws. We're going to go big here. And with the 9s, I think we just go ahead and bet fold with 1 player behind us. And we don't have to bet large. We can get away with betting something like this to target 1 pair around half pot. That's always good when he calls. He had the straight, but that's okay. At least we didn't face a raise. We set our own showdown price. Totally fine with that outcome. Unfortunately, we can't see his hand, but I believe that he just has a queen a whole lot on table 2 when he called on that river for such a large bet. We used a polarizing size because both flush draws missed. Both the front and backdoor flush draws missed. Obviously, we still lose to 10-9. I think 10-9 raises a turn at a decent frequency. And sets, well, a worse set will never raise us. And even somehow he has a set of queens, I don't think it'll raise on the river based on that sizing. So we can pretty safely bet the river and mostly be folding to a raise because he won't raise worse and people underbluff rivers severely. Not saying I'm always going to fold a set of jacks. Sometimes I will find a call. Obviously, I'm going to be pretty pained over it if he does raise. But I think it'd be a pretty safe fold, honestly. Ace-9 suited on table 4. We're just going to call 6 more after a raise and a call. And flopping over, backdoor flush draw, start with a check. Hopefully it checks through. Most likely it'll be check folding, though. The Queen 10 offsuit. I think if you decide to open this from this spot, low jack, hijack, cut up, low jack, it's probably okay. I tend to start opening it from the hijack, so I'm going to fold from the low jack, open from the hijack. Even verse 10 here, I'm going to be folding, and then there's a raise anyway. I want to go back real quick and see what happened with the 7s because I missed it because I was playing the I was playing the jacks. Looks like, I know we check called turn. I'm guessing river just, yeah, check, and sevens were good. So yeah, I think that hand was played fine. We bet the flop with just a 1 over card for a small size. He's going to call loose on the turn. He's going to bet often when check two, and we can call. In the river, we can mostly check fold if he bets again. Be folding from the small blind. I really don't play these junky hands from the small blind. If I do have a hand from the small blind to play into the big blind, it's always going to be as a raise. Because on this site there is no rake if there is no flop, so winning the pot pre-flop is a huge plus in getting to avoid the rake. So that was a lot of action to start off, which is nice. I played for about 30 minutes before. I was waiting for a hand to play worth note where I could start the video so there wouldn't be a bunch of dead time, and I'm glad I did, or else the video would have been 30 minutes of me talking about golf or promoting the Hand History Lounge or something. And I know you guys don't want to hear that, although I'll still do a little bit about that during dead times. Jack 7 suited from the big blind, facing a 3x from shout out Hand History Lounger. We're going to be calling. Take a flop in position. Flop middle pair. Check it back. Still checking it back. I don't see much worse calling us. Only really have to protect versus a king or a queen, and I think king queen bets the flop at some point or turn. And facing a river bet there. This is just not a board. He's going to bluff too much. When I check twice, I have a lot of showdown value, so he can go ahead and have this one. Nice hand, sir. We're going to be raising with the ace king. We're going to go 4, 8, 12, 16, 18 more on top is 22, so we will make it, let's just make it an even 25. So we'll put a little, what I like to call a little pepper on it. Normally I'd just be raising the pot there, but we'll just add a little bit since we're out of position. And we're going to be going heads up versus a limper. This flop heavily favors our range. They're going to be very suited ace heavy, suited connector heavy, and pocket pair heavy. So what we're going to do is we're going to give them a small lead, and we're probably going to continue on a lot of turns that are not an 8 or 9. I think this is actually fine, and we can continue on a diamond river as well. I think we're going to go with 58. This is congruent with the story of having a queen here. We could have ace queen, we could have king queen, queen jack suited, we could have nines. And the two barrel takes it down. When we bet such a small size on the flop, we're going to get called by all pocket pairs, which is why betting small and then giving up in general is a bad idea. We're going to be wanting to use either a larger one barrel size or a small flop bet with a larger or normal two barrel sizing, depending on the board texture and what our plans are. Having the ace of diamonds there was really nice because even if we're called and we catch a diamond on the river, we can continue and tell a story of having, you know, he cannot have the nut flush when we can. So it gives us more opportunities. Not saying I'm always going to bomb the river on a diamond. It's going to depend on what that diamond is, what card it is, who my opponent is. But in that spot, I felt pretty confident that a two barrel was going to be good based on his limp call range. With the sevens on table 4, we're going to go open to 3x. And we're heads up. This flop, so we talked about this a lot lately in the Hand History Lounge. It's a flop that favors our range, but it's also pretty good for his calling range. He's going to have suited aces. He's going to have some suited broadways. He's going to have pocket pairs. His pocket pairs likely will just check back, and we may end up still winning at showdown. And his other hands are just going to bet, and we can fold. So at this point, we're just trying to get the showdown. I would also play a hand like King Jack or Queen Jack the same way. You know, King Jack, Queen Jack, I can check call. Even Some hands like ace-4 suited, ace-5 suited, I can check twice here. And I can have all those in my check call range, so I don't need to add sevens to a call range here. So the plan for this video is going to be a review video where I pulled hands from Poker Tracker and tried to tackle a specific topic. Honestly, I was having trouble doing that. I pulled up like pocket pairs, and I just couldn't find hands that seemed to be really worth a video. So I noticed a bunch of 9-handed games running and decided just to hop in and make another standard play and explain. I personally enjoy these more because I like to play, and I like to express my thought process in the middle of a hand so you can truly see how I'm thinking during the hand. I just find it's more helpful. Maybe we'll get to the review videos eventually. Over on table 3, I'm going to fold from the small blind. I would be calling Jack-8 suited from the big blind versus a 3x, but from the small blind I tend to fold. King-10 offsuit is a fold. The jacks will be a 3-bet. We're going to use about a 3x sizing. I think from a high jack raise from the cutoff, I'm pretty much always going to be 3-betting jacks. I don't want to call and then allow a string of callers to call behind me. And versus a cold 4-bet in this spot, I think the standard would be to call. He's right at 100 big blinds deep, and he used a sizing that is really wanting action. I'm not getting 10 to 1 or more on this to 52. He would need 520. He only has 400. So I'm actually going to make a very tight fold here. I would normally say don't tell people I make a tight fold, but obviously I'm putting it on the YouTubes, so everyone will see that I made a tight fold. But so be it. Obviously, it can be exploited, and I can be exploited by folding jacks pre-flop, but just because I fold them this one time doesn't mean that I always fold them. I take a lot of things into consideration. If I had a tracker running and with a heads-up display and I had more information, I could possibly play the hand differently. If I was playing live setting, I would definitely have more information by either talking to the person or getting live reads, which would help out in a situation. But I'm pretty much flying blind here. And that's okay. I think it makes for a better video. Kind of really get into my thought process. King-7 suited on table 4. We are closing the action. It's only a 3x raise, which means 2 big blinds to us, and we're going to defend our suited kings. And we're going to raise the Jack-10 offsuit on table 3. Flop a flush draw on table 4 with the King-7 suited. We'll start off with a check. Versus a pretty large sizing, we're going to opt for a check call. Versus smaller sizing, we may go for some check raises. And we're going to be leading if we make flushes, because I think it would check back a whole lot. And with 3 jacks, I'm going to go ahead and bet. I think a little less than half pot is fine. King high. 9, 10. I think we can just go for a small bet here, like we're betting a 9. The whole goal is just to fold out ace high. I do not see us folding out a pair. Yeah, so I'm perfectly fine with that. We're going to keep betting here with the 3 jacks. I don't think any size I use he's going to be folding a 9 there. So using that small size is terrific because it just folds out. Well, I just don't see myself folding versus this guy for that sizing. I mean, he can have any jack here. I don't like it by any means, but I just can't see myself folding. Yeah. So, kicker's good. Folding the 6-4 offsuit. We'll get back to this on table 3. I know that's kind of interesting. Jack-10 offsuit facing a button open from a good player. We're going to go ahead and fold. I would use a 3-bet or fold strategy here. This player happens to be a good friend of mine, and I know he's a good player, and I just don't want to play heads up against him from out of position there. Let's see. I know we have a few hands to catch up on. The King-7, again, he's not folding the river for any sizing, so there's no reason to get out of line. Our whole reason for betting is just to get a hand like Ace-Queen to fold. When we bet a third pot there, because we could be betting, once a turn goes check-check, we could be betting almost any pair for value. Definitely would be betting a 9 for thin value. So I think that's perfectly fine. Back to the jacks. Yeah, you never want to get check raised, and especially you never want to get check raised at small size because it looks like so much value. But the guy was a loose cannon. If you saw when I brought his thing up, it said loose cannon right here. This guy's a rock, but that guy was a loose cannon. I'm just not going to fold 3 jacks for such small. I mean, the guy had 30 big blinds or something left. I do not bluff these monotone boards where I have very, very little equity. I may decide to bluff later in the hand, but as of now, there's no point in bluffing. I'll check back the turn quickly, and then I'll probably just be checking back rivers. If you can see, if we have a tough spot or a bet sizing spot, I like to use my random number generator down here at the bottom center of my table. I just click this button and it generates a number, 0 to 100 or 0 to 99. The last one was before the video. I flopped a set of deuces on ace, queen, deuce, and a raised pot. I had called from the big blind, and I checked. He bet just under half pot, and I was deciding if I wanted to take the check call route or a check raise flop. There was 2 spades on the flop, and I clicked my generator. It came up 83, which is a pretty high roll, so I went with the check raise. He ended up folding the flop, but anyway, I haven't used it since then, but that's what that's for. And that's just an app that I downloaded straight from the Microsoft App Store. I guess you can't see it because it's off my screen, but it's a little button with like a little bag, shopping bag with a Microsoft icon on it. And I just typed in random number generator. And it was a quick download. Free download. What's new? If you guys haven't signed up yet, give us a shot. www.handhistorylounge.com. First 2 weeks are free. Just let me know. Check it out. Request us on Facebook. Let me know you watched the video and you'd like the free trial. Over on table 3, ace 7 offsuit, facing a 3x, small blind and a big blind. We're going to call in position, take a flop. I think ace high is a little bit too good to fold. And no need to 3-bet it. I don't fight for these tiny pots. There's no need to. I just kind of try to get my showdown value. With the 3s on table 2, we're going to open a 3x. 6-7 suited, a little bit loose early position, but for the sake of the video, let's go ahead and open a 3x. I'm just going to take our pair to showdown over on table 3. Checking our option on table 1 with the 8-6 offsuit. Flopping middle pair, backdoor flush draw, facing a half pot bet. We're going to call, take a turn. Checking the 3s with 3 overcards and folding our pair of 6s over on table 1. On table 2, I know a lot of players would like to bet because, hey, we can represent ace-king. Again, you're going to get into a very low equity spot when you get called, and you're just turning your hand to a pure bluff. And sometimes you just win with at showdown versus hands like 5-6 suited. Or deuce something. I have no clue how he has a deuce there and doesn't have a pair, but I guess he played the old deuce 3, although I blocked that. Who knows? Players here are funny. 5-4 offsuit from the small blind. Even if there wouldn't be a raise, I'd be folding into the big blind. It's just too weak. So yeah, if you haven't checked us out, check out handhistorylounge.com. Join us. We're having a lot of hands posted every day. A lot of people playing on Poker Bros, posting hands. It's a great time to get better. It's a great time to work on your game if you can't play in the casino. folding the 7-8 offsuit on table 3 to a raise. Had he folded, we would be opening the button with 7-8 offsuit. Great time to work on your game. No excuse not to. Like I said, free trial for the first 2 weeks. You've got absolutely nothing to lose. If you don't like it, no big deal. Let's see. Golf front for you guys who liked my golf stories last time and were interested. I've been playing some pretty good golf. Played 2 rounds since the last Hand History Lounge. Shot since the last online grind. On Saturday, I went out to Painted Desert in Las Vegas and shot 5 under 67 out of nowhere. Probably my best round I've ever played. Sadly, could have been better with a bogey on a sharp par 3. 3-putt bogey. I missed a 6-foot birdie putt on 18. I mean, it could have been really low, like 64, 65 low. Queen Jack offsuit over on table 4. Gonna open. I opened a 2.5x on the button. You don't have to. You could open a 3x or even 4x everywhere. It's just my preference. It's what I do. So yeah, 5 under 67, and then I went play at Royal Links yesterday in Las Vegas. Royal Links is really cool. It's every hole is a replica of a British Open hole. I put a cool story on my Instagram stories about it yesterday and had a good round there. I shot 1 under on the front and 2 over on the back for a 1 over 73 total. So without actually trying, the golf game is really getting there. Just playing some really good golf and really enjoying it again. Recently quit my country club during this whole quarantine thing. Not all their fault, but obviously they closed for a month, and then they had some regulations about only 1 person per card, even if it's a family member. So I couldn't bring my son with me anymore, so I wasn't gonna be able to play much. And anyway, it just didn't make financial sense for me to stay there. So now I'm a free agent, and I get to travel around Vegas and play whatever courses I want, and I'm really enjoying it. All the courses are in amazing shape, mostly because they had to close for a month. So when a course gets maintained for a month and has no play on it for a month, boy, it sure ends up pretty nice. Anyway, enough golf. Back to poker. If you guys are not playing online and would like to, get in touch with me. I can get you set up on Poker Bros. The game's been amazing. Very few complaints. Other than, of course, people complaining about bad beats, but I think we all do that from time to time. If you play PLO, there's a ton of PLO options. No limit hold'em, obviously. Anytime we can be playing at 10:30 in the morning on a Thursday at Vegas, and I have 4 full 2-4 games. They had a full 3-6 game. It's a good spot. The deuces here on table 1 are close again because of the limper. Yeah, this is really close. I'm going to just go ahead and fold the deuces to the raise. And facing a limp here on table 2, I'm going to raise from the big blind. I think his limp range is going to be pretty weak. Hands like 5-6 offsuit, 7-8 offsuit. I think this is a great board that we can credibly 2-barrel. Because he shouldn't have many queens in it, although he will have a lot of 5s in it. We made a pair, but I don't think that's good. I think that this may be a 3-barrel board. And we're going to stick with that plan of 3-barreling here. Because I think a lot of his 5-6 type hands and 6-7 will call again on the turn. We beat 6-7 now, but 5-6, 3-4. Anyway, it worked. Probably get a little bit added respect there too, again, knowing that this was a friend of mine, and I know his game, he knows my game. Queen 10 offsuit a little bit too early on table 1. Again, we would raise this from the last 3 spots, even versus a short stack limp. So again, if you're not playing on Poker Bros, get in touch with me. I can definitely get you set up. I've helped out a whole lot of people get set up on it. I'll put a short clip at the end with email, but you can just email me, Blakeman Poker, BLAKEMAN Poker at yahoo.com. King 10 suited on table 2, facing a raise and a 3-bet. We're just going to fold. And on table 3, we're going to call with the threes versus a button raise from the big blind closing the action. Missed the flop. I'm just going to go for the check fold, and we're going to raise the threes on table 4 first in the pot. I never limp in first in. I think if there were several limps, we could limp behind with threes, but being first to act, we want to raise the 3x. Hands like Queen 4 suited over here on table 3. If there's no raise, we'll be calling 2 more versus a limp. Or actually, he checked. He posted on the gun, which is a sign of a pretty bad player in general. But it's not quite good enough to raise versus 2 players. If it folded to me, no one there, I would raise into the big blind. And now we'll fold. While killing time here, we'll go back and look at one of these hands against dollar bill here. This was it where we had the king deuce. When his limp range, he could have a queen, but he's unlikely to have ace queen, and he's unlikely to have king queen because we help block king queen with the king. So his most likely best hand he's going to have there, he could have 5-4, which he'll check raise the turn, and then we don't have to worry about 3-barreling. Or he can have queen jack. So I think that's why this hand plays is such a good 3-barrel, because we could potentially get him to fold queen jack on the river. And pretty much anything worse than queen jack, we're almost always folding if he doesn't, getting to fold if he doesn't improve. Suited ace on the button, I'm pretty much always just going to be calling here. I think it plays perfectly well as a call, and even if we bring in the blinds, it's perfectly fine. Ace jack offsuit, under the gun 1. It's actually a little bit loose. I'm going to raise for video's sake. If I were playing a normal session, I would be folding this in the first 3 spots and raising from the last 4 in tougher games. In 1-2 no limit and below, I'd probably just open it from every spot. And with the ace here, I think 4 ways. I'm going to go ahead and bet because I want to play my hand straight forward. And I can still get called by a lot worse. 10 jack, queen 10, king jack, king queen. And then I'm going to chop versus most aces by the time this board's done running out. And I have a pretty easy bet fold if I get check raised. I don't think second to last act he'd be checking monsters because he should be betting sets. So I still think he has a hand like king queen, and I think going for value here is perfectly fine. I know a lot of people would just check back here, and that's my natural instinct too, but there you go. Perfect. He showed a king. Thank you, Tom Toothpick, for helping out with the online grind volume 11 video. So yeah, I think that he's going to bet sets. He's going to bet all of his 2 pairs. He's mostly going to bet straights because he is second to last to act. So his range is just a lot of king, queen, king, jack there on ace, king, 10. And I think that betting the turn, looking to check back all rivers is probably the way to go. I'm really glad he showed the king just kind of to help drive home the point of the way we should be thinking about a hand there. Not much action now, but so far we've been at it for right at 30 minutes, so I guess we'll probably wrap up the video. Let me go ahead and start taking the stand up next big blind. We'll kind of play around till our blinds are done. And we've had a good bit of action for the 30-minute video. I'm pretty happy with it. I spent a while going through the poker tracker trying to find hands that I wanted to develop a common theme and build a video around, and I realized first off, it's Thursday, and I like to use these videos for our free Hand History Lounge lesson for our members on Fridays. So I'm already cutting it very short. They'll have pretty much 24 hours to watch the video, develop questions to talk about during the lesson. But I was just having trouble finding that common theme, so decided to just play a little bit again, mostly for selfish reasons too. It's easier for me. It's a lot easier for producing a video, and it's also a lot more fun, and this is the way I've always learned. I've enjoyed play and explain type videos more than I've enjoyed PowerPoint or review type videos. And since it's a free service anyway, why not make it more enjoyable for me? But no, I just think it's very useful. I think it's a good way to study, and if you could just block out 30 minutes and take notes and really pay attention to what's going on, I think it's really helpful. And I'm always open to feedback, so please leave comments in the on the YouTube video in the comments section. Let me know what you like or dislike about it, what I can improve on. Just let me know what you think. Again, I'm not looking to reach a massive audience with this. I'm not doing this. I'm doing this strictly for my Hand History Lounge members, and of course as promotion to promote the Hand History Lounge and let people out there who don't know what we're about, know that it's a real deal, that you can get a lot better at poker. The Hand History Lounge is $40 a month. It's very competitively priced with some other sites. And I think we offer something that a lot of other sites don't, and that's personal feedback. You post your own hands, and I reply to every single one of them. And not everybody has a winning professional player who can review a hand that you've played at 20 cent, 40 cent, no limit, and give you honest feedback. And I think our members really enjoy it. And if you're not a member, you should really give us a shot. Jack 10 suited on table 3, middle position. We're going to open. I open this hand from every position. This is probably one of my favorite poker hands, other than, of course, the 0-1-1. Looks like we're going to go multi-ways, 3 ways, flop a flush draw. Really cool spot because I don't see us getting a ton of folds. We have a very short stack player, although I think it's fine to... So I think what we're going to do is we're going to bet and just get in versus the short stack player. Because oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me, I thought he had a hand. Forget everything I said. I think betting's still fine, just with our raw equity. This guy is short stacked. I do not want him to check raise me with 200. Because I really don't want to get in 200. We're going to be left in awkward spots because he's not really deep enough for us to 3-barrel if he calls here. So I'd probably be checking back turns and just taking my equity to the river if he called. But honestly, spots like that are really tough when you're against a 50 big blind stack and you flop a flush draw, but it's not even the nut flush draw. It sucks to bet fold flops versus them, but we mostly would have to. It's a pretty nasty spot, though, if we get check raise. So, when in doubt, I tend to use just a half pot sizing. So I think a spot like that, there's 40 in the pot, we bet 22, and I think that's fine, because we can never be that far away from correct if we use a half pot sizing. Suited ace 4, under the gun 1, still worthy of a raise. We're going to open to 3x. I think in the small games, you can open all suited aces from all positions. Looking at my tracker, I'm a small loser with suited aces, which means I probably open too many of them. So what I've adjusted myself recently to doing is opening ace 4 and ace 5 suited from all positions, folding ace deuce, ace 3, ace 6, and ace 7 suited from the first 3 spots, playing all suited aces past the first 3 spots. The reason I do that is simply because ace 8 is kind of like the cutoff. Ace 8 is going to beat half the aces that people play. And ace deuce, ace 3, ace 6, and ace 7 don't play nearly as well as ace 4 and ace 5. So I still add in ace 4 and ace 5 for the straight values. Looks like we've wrapped up on table 1. We're not on the table anymore. And wrapped up here on table 2. That was our last hand. We have a few more hands on table 3 and table 4. Over on table 4, 6-4 suited. Pretty hand. I would open it from the last 2 spots. This is definitely too early to open it from. But it would definitely be worth a raise from the cutoff and button. Overall, barring a catastrophe, in these last few hands, pretty good little 30-minute session. Looks like we win about 300 on this table, 200 on this table. It's 500, and win 63 on this table, 560, and 54 on this table, 560, about 600 bucks. Not a bad 30 minutes. And we've wrapped table 3, and looks like we have one more hand on table 4. So that's alright. I'll just go ahead and cut the video here. I want to thank everyone for watching Online Grind Volume 11. And if you haven't checked us out, please go to www.handhistorylounge.com to learn more about us, or search Hand History Lounge on Facebook. Send a request to be added, and they'll ask you a few questions. Just put in that you watched Online Grind and you want your 2-week trial, and I'll be happy to add you for the 2 weeks. If you are interested in playing on Poker Bros, send me an email, blakemanpoker@yahoo.com. And I'll send you the instructions, and we'll get you added and get you playing. I hope everybody is being safe, and well wishes to you all, and I will see you next time for Online Grind Volume 12. Take care.